Hold on, I'm sorry. Yo, good evening, USA, International Canada, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the 5 spots of plus the tri-state areas of New Jersey, Connecticut, and the 5 spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. This is your man and homie G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Rhymes rhymes with now or later. Your host with the most, misunderstood, lonely nomad, unstoppable independent podcaster, creator, YouTuber, Queens, New York native, who is also a New York Mets fan from the neck of the woods of Laurelton, Queens, New York. And I'm a New York Giants fan, in case nobody don't know. You are now rocking with me by listening, tuning in, streaming, and watching the 444th episode of Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast. Um, and man, oh man, I got a lineup full of topics for you today. And I apologize for the delay. I was trying to figure out what's wrong with my soundboard on my tablet. So yeah, I got that fixed up right now. So yeah, there you go, right there. Now, if you missed any episodes whatsoever, please feel free to go ahead and click on that subscribe button on the YouTube channel page, G Money Stacks 555, for episodes that's already uploaded to the channel page. And of course, leave a like and a comment alongside with the topics. And tell me which topics are your favorite in each episode, right? So yeah, there you go, right there. Now, like I said, man, I do apologize for the delay. I was trying to figure out what's going on with my Android tablet here, so I do apologize. I already fixed it. So yeah, there you go. Um, all right, and I hope everyone is doing all right though. Hopefully, the hopefully, oh man, we might be. Listen, man, let me cut to the chase to a thing that I like to call the New York Mass Transit Files. Okay, all right, let's cut to the chase and get to some transit topics. All right. Um, okay. First and foremost, a little bit of a recap of what went down with um with with some of the flights that got canceled during the blizzard. So we're gonna go over that and along with some other topics. All right. Okay. So okay. So a recap here. A little bit of a recap here in terms of the flights being canceled. So um all right, so most flights into and out of New York City's three major parts, excuse me, three major airports were canceled on Monday amid a blizzard that had buried the five boroughs and surrounding areas in nearly 2 feet of snow. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey said that John F. Kennedy International Airport, LaGuardia Airport, and Newark Liberty International Airport were all open on Monday, but that the majority of flights at all three were canceled. As of 1 p.m., which took place on Monday, LaGuardia Airport reported 22.2 inches of snow on the ground, while JFK had 19.8 inches of snow. Port Authority employees are hard at work today doing ongoing snow removals operations at all of our city, excuse me, our facilities, said Port Authority spokesperson Seth Stein in a statement. In quote, the safety of the traveling public is our top priority as we work with our partners to restore travel operations. The Port Authority cautioned travelers to check their flight statuses with their airlines before heading to any of its airports. According to the site Flight Aware, 89% of flights scheduled to depart from JFK and 87% scheduled to land there were canceled on February 20th, equating to 554 and 545 flights respectively as of late Monday morning. Also, the JFK Air train is also suspended with shuttle buses running in its place, according to the Port Authority. Nearly 100% of flights headed out of and into LaGuardia, 514 and 515 respectively, were canceled. At Newark, 91% of arriving flights and 85% of departing flights were canceled as well. Newark's EWR air train was also suspended and replaced with shuttle bus service, the Port Authority said. The three local airports were among the hardest hit by the storm, which has snarled air travel across the United States. A total of 5,598 domestic and international U.S. flights were canceled on Monday. The ongoing blizzard major impact on air travel comes as it has dumped at least 15 inches on the city, stirring the snow with powerful winds. Zora Mandani declared a local state of emergency um, Sunday night and issued a travel ban for non-essential personnel, which he lifted just after afternoon took place on Monday. All right. So yeah, there you go. Um, let me see. All right, so the crime stats for January. Let's get into it right here. Um, So January marked a concerning start to the new year for the MTA's NYC transit system as subway crime ticked upward while the number of summonses for fare evasion and other violations dropped. According to the latest NYPD data, major felonies increased by 6.1% last month compared to January 2025. There were 174 major crimes in transit, including rape, robbery, and felony assault, up from 164 during the same month last year. However, the increase in crime did not lead to more arrests or summonses. Last month, police made only 2,785 arrests within the transit system. The previous January, when crime was lower, over 2,800 arrests were made, a difference of 3.1%. Yeah, sorry about that. Um, oh boy. Okay, so Transit Ad- Adjudication Bureau summonses, which refers to turnstile jumping, smoking in the subway, and other transit violations, were down 15.6% during the same period. MTA data revealed that 8,024 TAB summonses were issued last month, down from 9,512 handed out in January 2025. Meanwhile, anti-Semitic hate crimes went up in the system, while according to the statistics, with 8 reported incidents this January versus 2 during the same month last year. The release of the statistics comes on the heels of several high-profile crimes that plagued the subway system this month, including the fatal shooting of a man on the platform of the 170th Street station in the Bronx on February the 10th. That's crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy, man. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Go! Oh my god!
All right, this is crazy, man. Very fucking crazy. Yeah, so despite the fewer arrests and TAB enforcement, criminal summonses in which suspects must appear in court increased by 11% last month compared to January 2025. Even though we are up slightly versus 2025, January 2026 was the fifth lowest record start to the year for felony crimes in transit in the past 20 years. The MC reported in its data review of safety and security, our collaborative efforts to combat crime patterns within our transit system has continued to show effect year over year. The agency added that it will continue to work with law enforcement on quality of life and crime control initiatives and hope to see this downtrend continue throughout 2026. An NYPD spokesperson explained to AM New York that the code plays a role in crime fluctuations as more people move into the transit system. New York City has experienced record cold during the first 7 weeks of the year. When it is cold, especially this cold, more people move into the transit system, he said. He also explained that 7 weeks between January and February is a short time frame to indicate changing trends. We are in the infancy of 2026, and to use this short time frame of crime data would not be statistically accurate, the spokesperson said, adding that the department deployed additional cops into the transit system earlier in February, excuse me. Mayor Zoran Mondani and Governor Kathy Hochul, alongside other state and city leaders, announced on January 6th a decline in crime across the Big Apple. They highlighted 2025 as the safest year in the system since 2009, excluding the slamdemic years. Well, that's not really true because some of the crimes that's been going on has to do with more slashings. All right, more slashings. Local transit advocates applauded the administration's efforts to curb crime. Riders deserve safe transit whenever and wherever they are riding the MCA system. Brian Fritz, associate director of the Permanent Citizens Advisory Committee to the MCA, said. We appreciate Governor Hochul and Mayor Mondani's commitments to keeping safety at the top of their list of priorities, especially New York State's continued investments in police officers on every train overnight and the expansion of the Scout program, which we believe will pay dividends over time. Danny Pearlstein, Policy and Communications Director at the Riders Alliance, said public transit should be safe, welcoming, and inclusive of all New Yorkers, commuters, and visitors. A multifaceted approach to safety should include a granular attention to the details of what crimes occur, when and where, he said, during an extended cold period like this winter, where people, where more people are riding, transit officials need to also keep the quality of service in sight and take steps to reduce riders' anxiety and frustration owing to crowding and delays. Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at this. Um all right, so nearly 1.9 billion trips taken on MTA system in 2025, most since 2019. Ridership uh, ridership up roughly 7% system wide. So Subway, LARR, and Metro North each broke on time performance records in 2025. Governor Kathy Hochul and today announced that the Metropolitan Transportation Authority had a record-breaking year in 2025, with significant milestones reached for performance, reliability, and ridership. The Subway, Long Island Railroad, and Metro North Railroad all record highs for on-time performance in 2025. Ridership also experienced strong growth in 2025. Nearly 1.9 billion trips were taken on New York City Transit subway, bus, and paratransit services, up roughly 7% from 2024. This is what happens when you invest in mass transit: better service, faster trips, and increasing ridership, benefiting the entire region. Governor Hochul said 2025 was a record breaking year for the MTA and a great year for riders who took almost 2 billion trips from Poughkeepsie to Patchogue and the Rockaways to Riverdale, powering the entire region. Transit is the lifeblood of New York, and in 2026, we will build on these results to continue improving service, saving New Yorkers precious time, and powering our economy. So, MTA Chair and CEO General Lever said 4 years ago, under Governor Hochul's leadership, the MTA set out ambitious goals to bring transit and New Yorkers back from the slamdemic by increasing and improving service and investing in our infrastructure. Thanks to the amazing MTA workforce and historic capital funding from Albany, we've been able to accomplish those goals. Ridership, service, safety, and modernizing and expanding our great but aging system. Promises made, promises kept. That's good government in action. Now, I'm not so sure about that though, man. Um 2025 was a historic year for the subway system. Weekday and weekend on time performance reached the highest levels since electronic record keeping was launched, excluding the slamdemic period when 24/7 service was suspended. Week Weekday OTP in 2025 was 83.7%, a 2.1 percentage point improvement from 2024, and weekend OTP was 86.6, 2.4 points better than 2024. In August, Subway weekday OTP reached 85.2%, the best single month for performance in history. This improvement in subway service was driven through increased focus on data driven schedule and service management improvements, a drop in delays related to public conduct incidents, and improved schedules, helping to mitigate the impacts of scheduled maintenance and capital work. The subway system experienced about 13,000 fewer delays in 2025 compared to the previous year, even with increases in regularly scheduled service. In 2025, the Department of Subways also increased service on several lines, including the A and L trains in November and the M train in December in conjunction with the F and M swap. Subway ridership grew substantially in 2025 with nearly 1.3 billion total trips, up 7% from 2024. Subway ridership continued its post-pandemic recovery, with total trips in 2025 up nearly 30% from 2022 and at 85% of pre-pandemic levels. The subway broke its post-slamdemic single-day, weekday, and weekend ridership records on numerous occasions in 2025, with the most recent single-day high reached on December 11th with 4.65 million customers. On buses, the MTA has added additional service across the city in 2025 following the launch of the scam of congestion pricing. The MTA and Governor Hochul committed $8 million from the outer borough transportation account to increase frequencies on 22 high ridership bus routes, including 8 express bus routes connecting riders to Manhattan and 14 critical local bus routes, reducing wait times for riders. In June and September, the MTA phased in the Queens bus network redesign, which included a $35 million annual investment in increased all-day frequency, 11 brand new bus routes, and 25 new rush routes, which have sped up trips by 7%. System-wide bus speeds, customer journey, time performance, and service delivery were all improved in 2025. Bus ridership also grew by roughly 8% in 2025, with nearly 440 million total trips. Paratransit continued to break records in 2025. October was the first month in history with more than 1 million riders on the service. Overall ridership is at 161% of pre-slandemic levels, reflective of improved service and heightened customer satisfaction. Customer survey data also reached record highs in 2025. November satisfaction was at 67% for subway riders and 62% for bus riders, while paratransit satisfaction has consistently been in the high 70s all year. This increase in satisfaction was driven primarily by improved customer safety, with 71% of subway customers reporting they felt safe on the system in November, the highest rate since the MTA began monthly surveys in 2022. The Long Island Railroad and Metro North, the MTA's railroads, also clocked strong performance and ridership results in 2025. The Long Island Railroad saw the greatest increase of ridership all MTA modes in 2025, with 81 million customers, a 9% increase from 2024. The LIRR also broke several post-slamdemic records in December with 183,250 people taking the train on Saturday, December 13th, the highest post-slamdemic Saturday, and 152,661 customers on Sunday, December 21st, the highest post-slamdemic Sunday. On September 24th, the LARR carried more than 300,000 riders for the first time since the slamdemic. Overall, LARR ridership is at 92% of pre-slamdemic levels. Performance on the LARR was also at or above record levels in 2025. OTP for the year exceeded 96%, an increase of 1 point from 2024 and the best non-slandemic year in at least a decade. And customer satisfaction reached new heights, with 81% of riders feeling satisfied, an 11-point increase from 2024. Metro North continued to deliver excellent service in 2025 with an OTP for the year of 97.8%. This strong performance was matched by improvements to service, including the ahead of schedule launch of new Super Express service on the Hudson Line on October 5th, slashing travel times between Poughkeepsie and Grand Central to less than 90 minutes. Metro North carried 69 million riders in 2025, an increase of 6% from 2024. The week of December 5th, the week of December 15th saw the highest post-pandemic ridership recovery week for Metro North with 827,015 total customers. The weekend of December 2021 was Metro North's strongest weekend ridership performance of the post-pandemic era, with 245,638 customers. Metro North ridership is now at 88% of pre-slandemic levels. 2025 milestones includes additional milestones in the transit system in 2025 includes highest ridership subway station 42 since 42nd Street complex. That's Times Square, 42nd Street. That would be the NQRSW1237 trains. 42nd 42nd Street. Port Authority. Yeah, Port Authority. I think bus terminal, I guess. Anyway, the A, C, and E trains. Bryant Park, the BDFM, and the BDFM trains, Fifth Avenue, which is by the 7 train, and 58 the 58 million 48 excuse me 58 4 848,238 highest ridership subway route, the 6th line, with an average of 560,000 daily riders. Highest ridership bus route M15 SBS carried 7,004,769 riders. Busiest turnstile in the subway Grand Central, 42nd Street, booth R238, position 16, total of 1,853 and 615 entries. Oh boy. Yeah, this is, I don't know, man. This right here is just, I don't know, man. This is not really, this is crazy. Oh, wait. Wait a minute here. What is this? What is this? Let me see. That's crazy, man. This is wild, man. Very, very, very wild, actually. All right, hold on. Hold on a second here. All right. Let's get into this next segment. Hold on one second here. I'm not seeing this. So I'm not really seeing this, but all right, time for chatting on the jazz. All right. Let me get to let me get to let me get to this topic right here. Here's what's going on here. So, here's what's happening. Here is what's happening here, man. So, a little bit of a recap. So Vic Mensa has authored a new opinion piece in the New York Times that examines federal policies and their impact on Chicago communities under the Cheeseface President 47 administration. On Sunday, the rapper shared his article and called attention to what he described as the militarization of immigration enforcement in the city. Don't fall for it, Texas Governor Greg Abbott literally bussed the Venezuelan immigrants to the city to freeze in the Chicago winter. Mensa captioned the post. Now they've sent their troops in to come abduct them and attack the city's citizens in the process. It's civil war light. Huh. Mensa's article critiqued the deployment of federal agents and military style forces in Chicago neighborhoods. He argued that operations targeting immigrants have harmful effects on both migrant populations and local residents. I'm so glad. Listen, let me just say this though, man, before I continue. I am so fucking glad I didn't watch the bullshit State of the Union because you could tell that this idiot in the White House is really full of shit though. And I say that because he's doing more harm than good. He's doing more harm than good. He's playing every single American out. This man don't care about you. He only cares about himself and the rich folks from Wall Street. You know, I just wish there was a way to replace his ass with a different president because what he's doing is disastrous, especially with the fucking tariffs. I'm sick of this guy, man. I'm sick of this guy. Anyway, he also pointed to the relocation of Venezuelan migrants to Chicago as intensifying the humanitarian impact. Supporters praised Mensa for raising awareness about the effects of federal policies on local communities. Excellent sports journalist Jamel Hill commented. Another user chimed in. This this how I want to see rappers using their platforms to advocate and educate. Someone else stated, "Love that you are accurately calling out a deliberate lack of resource availability for those in need due to those in power rather than blaming those in need for being in that position. Federal authorities have since defended the coordination of immigration enforcement, but have not responded to every specific allegation raised in Mensa's article. Mensa has previously used his platform to speak on issues such as police reform, gun violence, and urban policy. His Instagram page is filled with various clips of himself calling out injustices statewide and internationally. Yeah, yeah, good for him, man. Let's talk the child care situation, man. Let's talk child care, man. Uh, from the idiot that tried to take that away from children. That's fucked up. Anyway, man. New York State's was ranked second worst in the US for its costly, stringent rules on child care centers. A new analysis claimed the right leaning think tank, the Archbridge Institute, said the Empire State should be looking to cut down on bureaucratic red tape and regulatory burdens to drive down costs instead of plans favored by Democrats, Governor Kathy Hochul and New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani to funnel taxpayer money to expand coverage for youngsters. Rather than pursuing costly taxpayer funded subsidized and state sponsored programs, we recommend reducing regulatory burdens on childcare providers that ultimately harm parents by increasing barriers to entry and raising the cost of childcare. The group said in its childcare freedom analysis, which ranked Vermont at number 50. Um, on the issue of childcare, a more affordable America means a less regulated America from one state to the next. The study rates state policies and regulations for center based childcare facilities, including child to staff ratio requirements by age, maximum group sizes by age, required annual training hours for staff, and minimum educational requirements for center directors and lead teachers. States with higher education requirements to obtain a license to become child care directors and teachers received a lower grade. New York's 1.87 score ranked significantly lower than the other most populous states. Florida ranked fifth, Texas ninth, and California number 13. The Empire State ranked poorly for having low child to staff ratios, 8-1 for 4 year olds and 9-1 for 5 year olds. 5 year olds. California, by comparison, had no maximum group size except for toddlers under 27 months. Hmm. Florida offers a higher child to staff ratio for 3 year olds, 4 year olds, and 5 year olds. Edward Timmons, the Archbridge Institute's vice president of policy, said New York should find other solutions to bringing down costs instead of using taxpayer dollars to provide free care. Instead of fiscally reckless proposals to provide free childcare, Governor Hochul should work with legislators to loosen overly restrictive regulations in New York to increase choice and improve competition, Timmons said Sunday. Increasing the number of children permitted to be supervised by staff and increasing maximum group size will give parents more choice in the market, he said. He went on. Research shows that these regulations do not improve quality of care or child safety, but we do know that they are associated with higher costs. One state lawmaker said rules are put in place for a reason, especially when dealing with the youngest children. End quote. It's a smart thing to look at regulations, but we want our children to be safe and we want to educate them, said Bronx Assemblyman Michael Benedetto, chairs the education committee. It's a fine line, he added. According to Archbridge's 2026 index, the five least regulated states for childcare are Idaho, which ranked first, followed by South Carolina, Arizona, Alabama, and Florida. Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Massachusetts, followed by Vermont and New York, rounded out the bottom five of the list. Childcare costs many of the city's families more than $20,000 per year, among the most expensive in the nation. Damn, $20,000? Really? Say it ain't so, man. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. All right. Yeah. And hold on. Hmm. All right. Yes. So in New York, Hoka rolled out a $4.5 billion multi-year plan to phase in universal child care. Her proposed two care program for all 2 year olds in the Big Apple, along with a, a buildup of existing pre K and early childcare in the rest of New York, will ultimately provide care for 100,000 more children across the state. $4.5 billion. Damn, that's a lot. Let me see. Yes, it has the backing of Mandani, who made a campaign pledge to eventually provide free childcare for all kids in the city starting at 6 weeks and proposing tax hikes on the rich and corporations to pay for it. Yeah. Um, okay. The report noted that federal law has triggered more stale regulations of childcare. Hold on. Yeah. Let me see. So the 2014 reauthorization of the Child Care and Development Block Grant required all states receiving federal funding to set group size and child to staff ratio restrictions, in addition to other new licensure requirements. In response to the criticism, Hochul's office defended the governor's plan to provide free or subsidized childcare, though she's also reviewing the effectiveness of existing regulations. Governor Hochul's plan for universal childcare will save New York families billions of dollars each year and make New York a more affordable place to raise a family. Uh, the governor has already committed to looking at state regulations, ensuring the state's childcare infrastructure and workforce is high quality and effective, and most importantly, safe for all children in care, a spokesperson said. Her office insisted New York's existing staffing ratios align with recognized best practices set by national experts. All right, so let's see, what are we going to be talking about here? Um, Let me make sure I don't miss out on any topics. Um, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on. The No King's Day thing. Hold on. Hold on. Yes, here we go. Here we go. All right, so for those of you who may not know what No King's Day is about, I'm gonna actually get into this, and then you know I'll get into it actually. So um hold on one second here. It's taking so long to load actually. Hold on one second. Okay. For those of you who may not know what No King's Day is about, so it's coming on March 28th, and we've already got nearly 600 peaceful protests planned across all 50 states, including our flagship event in the Twin Cities. The early energy we're seeing around this upcoming day of defiance goes way beyond what we saw this far out from our record setting mass mobilizations last year. Outrage at the corruption, brutality, and lawlessness of Cheeseface President 47 and his billionaire enablers is bubbling up everywhere. The courage to openly defy this regimen is surfacing everywhere, and protests to stop the rise of fascism in its tracks are coming together everywhere. March 28th will be the largest day of protest in U.S. history, as the American people say in one unbreakable voice: no thugs terrorizing our neighborhood, no rigging our elections, no palatial ballrooms, whilst people struggle to afford basic housing. No troop deployments in our streets. No fucking kings. The No Kings Coalition announces our dates far in advance because it takes time to plan massive, inescapable world historic days of nonviolent protest at this scale. But as you know, we don't pencil off a few dates on the calendar each year to fight tyranny. That's the work our partners, and so many No Kings participants do every single day. Our coalition has already put together the two largest Ice Watch trainings in history. We and our partners stood up nationwide protests throughout January, and we can guarantee you this even as we prep for the No Kings 3. Invisible and other in this coalition will continue to offer a host of tactics, from protests to economic pressure, congressional facing actions, to mutual aid, to fight the fascists at the helm of our government and protect our communities. But starting now, we do need all of your help to make No Kings an overwhelming demonstration of opposition to this regimen's authoritarian agenda that further weakens the wannabe king and strengthens our pro democracy movement. Listen, let me just say it. Let me say this though. You know, not everybody is built to be an activist as far as a protest. Not everybody's built for that. And the reason I say that is because people got their own lives that they have to worry about. I mean, people got bills, they got kids, all that other stuff. And it's like it's kind of like fucking overwhelming for people to be participating in this thing. And I'm not condoning the shit that's happening right now. But, sometimes sometimes you got to realize that you're not going to make everybody fucking happy. You feel what I'm saying? So there you go. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see. So all right. You can check out our map to find and register for your closest No Kings event. More events are being added daily, so if there's nothing near you, check back often or sign up to host a No Kings protest in your area. We have a full toolkit and team of experts standing by to help you plan a safe and powerful event. Help spread the word. Use the social toolkit on the No Kings website or directly share the sign up for your closest protest. Extra credit if you have people in your life that are dipping their toes into political activism via No Kings. Encourage them to take another step this week, like calling their member of Congress or connecting with a local organizing group. We've got plenty of ways to get involved at invisible.org. Um, yeah, so there you go, right there, man. Um, yeah, so chip in if you can. Organizing a national day of action with millions of people takes time and resources. Between the recruitment tools, map of events, supplies, and security, the cost for Invisible alone are significant. Grassroots donors are crucial to No King's success. In April of last year, our coalition turned out 3 million people for hands off. By October's No Kings, our numbers had grown to 7 million. What comes next is up to us and the work we put in between today and March 28th. Let's make history in solidarity. Um, Invisible Team. A core principle behind all No Kings events is a commitment to nonviolent action. We expect all participants to seek to de escalate any potential confrontation with those who disagree with our values and to act lawfully at these events. Weapons of any kind, including those legally permitted, should not be brought to events. So there you go. Oh boy. Action by action, day by day, group by group, invisibles are remaking our democracy. To brought together by a practical guide to resist the cheeseface President 47 agenda. Invisible is those a movement of thousands of group leaders and more than a million members taking regular, iterative, and increasingly complex actions to resist the GOP's agenda, elect local champions, and fight for progressive policies. Here we go. There you go. All right, that was No Kings. All right, let's go to. All right, let me see. All right, let's go to Pusha T. Getting in on the fashion action campaign. Let's take a look here. According to Vibe, it's been over a year since Pusha T was dubbed a Louis Vuitton house ambassador. Now the Grammy nominated artist is featured in the fashion house's spring and summer 2026 menswear campaign, creatively directed by Pharrell Williams, aka Skateboard P. The campaign's accompanying visual features Pusha T and actor Jeremy Allen White, played who played Bruce Springsteen in the biopic movie, in elegant, travel-friendly pieces from the India-inspired collection. The Let God Sort 'em Out rapper is seen on a train station platform and train car rocking various pieces like the coffee brown padded leather blouse, a cricket tie, a cream colored tailored travel suit with the animal stamp suitcases, and a heavily jeweled carry-on travel bag. This campaign transits roads and railways and scenic overlooks, capturing the rugged landscapes that lie between communities, Vuitton said in a statement. Seen from the vantage point of a train car, a cargo van, or on foot, each frame celebrates the journey itself, the fleeting interludes, the expansive horizon, and the quiet thrill of movement. The campaign, aptly named The Art of Travel, includes visual stills captured by Drew Vickers. As for the capsule collection, its deeply warm pastel color palette was inspired not only by Williams's research trip through New Delhi, Mumbai, and Jaipur in 2018, but also by Wes Anderson's 2007 film, The Darjeeling Limited. Not sure what that means, but anyway, I feel like this collection is as much about movement as it is about style. Traveling really teaches you how to manage time while never feeling restricted, Pusha T said. I can relate and connect to Pharrell's vision for this collection. He makes the journey feel natural and purposeful. You can see more the the SS26 collection on LouisVuitton.com. So there you have it right there. There you have it. Um 10 streetwear trends that's going to dominate in 2026. Let's take a look at this according to the folks from Complex. The trend cycle has never moved faster than it does now. It feels like every week a new core or micro trend hits social media feeds. Entering a new year, decided to take a stab at predicting some of the trends we think will be coming back in a big way over the next 12 months. Of course, this isn't to say everything from 2025 is going to suddenly go away. We're still going to see plenty of baggy denim, bedazzled sweats, aka jogging pants, and low profile sneakers in the new year. But we also expect to see a lot of people, whether they lived through it or not, tapping into the glory days of 2016 now that we're 10 years removed from it. Here are the 10 fashion trends we think will run streetwear in 2026. Dondacore. Oh boy. Kanye West has plenty of iconic style errors, but none better than the pocket between Yeezus and the Life of Pablo from 2014 to 2016 with the 10th anniversary of TLOP coming up in February. Expect to see what old merch coming out of closets, dusting off some of their old merch, but it isn't just the amazing tour merch. It's likely that the creations from the entire creative cohort surrounding Ye at that time will resurface. We're talking about just Don strap backs with the python brims, original flannels, and track pants from Fear of God's first collection. Pieces like the entub- entubement of Christ hoodies from Virgil Abloh's Pyrex Vision, and the drippy tees from Bean Trill. We are calling this Don Decor, named after the creative agency where the late great Virgil Abloh, Jerry Lorenzo, and more worked alongside Kanye West during this period. Hockey jerseys. Over the past 2 years, it feels like every brand has given us their take on the football and soccer jerseys. Throwback NBA jerseys saw a boost in popularity thanks in large part to Playboy Cardi, vintage NASCAR jackets covered in colorful sponsors stayed in rotation. But for some reason, people have been sleeping on hockey jerseys. That should change in 2026. Not only is the silhouette a perfect canvas for brands to put their own spin on, there are a ton of fire throwback hockey jerseys. Whether you want to rep the Flying V, the Quebec Nordiques, or do your finest Tupac impression, there is a hockey jersey out there for you. The colorful camo. Camo will always be in style. Look no further than the omnipresent woodland and real tree styles, which have remained prominent in streetwear. But bright camo hoodies and pants are poised for a comeback. Overall, it feels like people are over earth tones and eager to add more pops of color to their outfits. The streets are about to look like the Lamborghini High video in a few months. Wait a minute, Lamborghini. Lamborghini. Oh man. Lamborghini. That's funny, man. That's funny. That's funny. And what the hell is a Lamborghini? I'll wait. Of course, khakis is not going out of style, too. So we're gonna take a look at khakis. We'll take a look at khakis though, man. Hold on. Hold on. Khakis. Here we go. Between the quarter zips and rugby. Hold on. Rugby sweaters. There was clearly an appetite for prep in 2025. One of the pieces of the preppy uniform we haven't seen fully embraced just yet, khakis. Yes, these aren't the most flattering on some people. You may immediately think of Jake from State Farm when you think of the boring pants. Oh shit. Um, but there will be stylish folks who can freak this humble garment. Sooner or later, all of your favorite brands will be dropping upgrades to the men's wear classic. Oh shit. The 2010s Nike basketball sneakers. The seeds have been planted. The shy double double o one Adidas AEs and Nike GT Future proved that there is an appetite for basketball sneakers in the lifestyle space right now. Now, the only logical step is to fully restore the feeling and revisit the golden era of Nike basketball. LeBron nines, KD KD6s, LeBron nines, KD6s, rocking Kobe's with jeans again. Some people never stop wearing them, but we're going to see a lot of people who may not have been able to secure those grails at age 10 finally live out their dreams in 2026. G Shocks, a Rolex that will never go out of style. And for that reason alone, they are a, peren- a parent, perennially coveted accessory day. Um, of course, the problem is the price. Hence, the G Shock, which is affordable and due for a comeback. Yeah, I don't know about that one right there. Anyway, throughout the 2000s and 2010s, Casio, um, you, hold on. Casio's utilitarian design became a key element of the streetwear uniform, receiving remixes from big names like Stussy and Bape, and appearing on the wrist of stars like Pharrell and Kid Cudi. In 2025, we saw some great collabs with Jay Tips and Action Bronson leading the charge. Hopefully, Casio continues to tap in with the next generation of streetwear designers and stylish individuals to create a new batch of desirable collabs. Chelsea boots. Oh gosh. We think the world might be ready to embrace the Chelsea boot again. In 2025, we saw sneakers get sleeker, so it only makes sense that a slimmer boot may be embraced in the new year. Plus, pants are getting skinnier again, so the proportions, excuse me, will work out. When you find yourself contemplating some chestnut brown suede Chelsea boots in a few months, don't say we didn't warn you. Three quarter sleeve, three quarter sleeve tees. One shirt style that's gone totally extinct. The baseball tee. The two-tone look and three-quarter length sleeves aren't for everybody, but they offer a distinct alternative to the usual t-shirt or long sleeve. American Apparel was a one-stop shop for these Raglan shirts in every color imaginable back in the 2000s and 2010s. With the expansion of Los Angeles apparel in recent years, a revival of one of its most popular items could be next. Plus, the retro style also opens up the opportunity to hunt down vintage pieces that nobody else will have. Remember this legendary Chief Keef fit pick. Can't can't you see the vision? Rockstar aesthetic. Everything got too baggy, huh? What happened to the crotch hugging pants that served bad boy rockers from Robert Plant on? Whether you look towards early fit pics of Playboy Cardi and Lil Uzi Vert in their SoundCloud era, or the runways of Heidi Slimane for inspiration, excuse me. The rockstar uniform of skin tight pants, tees, and leather biker jackets is coming back. Retro tech. We've already seen Gen Z start to embrace wired headphones and PSPs, but there's still plenty of room to take this to another level. Um, have you considered breaking your phone yet? Where are the Blackberries and Sidekicks? Truly embrace the era by listening to your music on an original iPod Nano. You have a record player in your house. Why not buy a CD? Why not buy a CD player so you can take your disc on the go? Because it's out of style, man. Cell phones all look the exact same now. Let's bring back this distinct vintage tech. There's nothing like a text type on an actual keyboard. Nobody's gonna want to rock that shit, man. Best trust NBA players, all that other stuff. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Um, let me see. Let me see. Reliable insider claims. Hmm. All right. Let's go to this next segment right here. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on. Sorry about that. All right, time for the Crunch Tech mentions. All right. Um all right, let's get into what's going on in tech news right here. So, of course, this is from Newsbreak. Let's get into it right here. All right, so bad news keeps rolling in for Xbox gamers. Excuse me, Xbox gamers. A new report suggests that Microsoft could be abandoning its next console. A very reliable insider claims that Microsoft is planning some very intense changes for the Xbox brand, and we could see them come to fruition in the coming months. Damn, damn. The first change, unfortunately, will come in the form of another round of layoffs heading into Q1 2026, and the company's next console generation may never see the light of day. Damn. The insider continues by pointing out that Xbox's future will focus solely on game publishing and will altogether ditch the hardware component, highlighting the top performing IPs in its portfolio while no longer considering the development of new consoles. While this is only a rumor and should be met with skepticism, The Verge's Tom Warren added fuel to the fire when he said during a recent episode of the Xbox Era podcast that the source knows a lot of what goes on internally. Make sure you check that podcast out. For all you gamers out there, make sure you check out Xbox Era podcast. All right, in another post on Neo GAF, the reliable source who goes by Sneakers So, and also happened to hint at Microsoft's shift to third-party development before it occurred, broke down the entire rumor regarding the future of Xbox's hardware and how the company will be moving forward. That's crazy, man. Without going into too much detail, not long after the last round of layoffs, um, next one should be coming in Q1 2026 between, and it's going to be just a massive as the last one. Some rumblings out of Xbox starting coming out that were a little hard to believe. The ramifications of the COD GP gambit not working out, we're just starting to get properly measured. But the thing that really stuck out to me was that suddenly really concrete plans for actual MS Xbox HW went from being definitive to up in the air, which was really startling given that this thing was meant to be out relatively soon. It was one of those situations where, despite folks being told, hey, we want to pull the trigger on this in 2026, the steps you would need to take in the lead up to delivering a new console gen weren't being met. Lots of things that were sure things started getting pushed. The Costco retailer pulling Xbox, and apparently they are they are one of many that we'll learn about soon. Told me all I need to know. To sum up, to sum it up, the future of Xbox is software publishing with a significantly honed in focus on profitable IPs, um, cloud gaming being the home of the Xbox platform, transitioning Game Pass into basically becoming the point of entry subscription for xCloud access, and releasing their software on any device that has a marketplace and users will willing to buy their titles. Maybe some OEM thing will take up the Xbox name, but given what is clearly a collapse in favorable mindshare and faith in said brand. I'm not even sure a third party OEM is gonna want to have an Xbox console by the time MS is done with their reorienting of the division. We can only hope this news isn't true. We generally hope the news about the layoffs doesn't come to pass because the video game industry has been taking a significant hit and many people have lost their jobs over the past several years. But it just seems like that news is inevitable. As for Xbox shift to third party, it appears to be a done deal. And following the latest news about the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate price hike, losing money on COD after bringing it to Game Pass, and how the Black Ops 7 beta is underperforming compared to Battlefield 6, it's not sounding too good for Microsoft right now. Damn. Ain't that some shit? Wow. 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 Let me see. What else? What else can we talk about here? What else can we talk about here? Oh yeah, some tech news. Yes, 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 yes. Some tech news. Um, oh gosh. Um, all right, some tech news, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. I'm gonna get into some tech news and stuff. So let's go to. Jeez, man. Hmm. What the hell? Let's take a look at this. Actually, okay. The three phones and tablets I'm most excited to see at MWC 2026. Let's take a look at this though. This year's Mobile World Congress is almost upon us, promising 4 days of mobile product announcements and innovations. At the risk of dampening expectations at the outset, the first thing to note is that we're unlikely to get any major surprises next week. The big brands all prefer to have their own separate announcements. Samsung and Google have both announced major new smartphone hardware in the past week, while Xiaomi announced its latest flagships in December. So the MWC, which is Mobile World Congress event, is a global launch for most of its new devices. Even with smaller brands, the nature of the modern press and social media environment means that we have at least some idea of what's going to be on the showroom floor in Barcelona already. Um, That's not to say there's no excitement to be found at this year's event in Barcelona. The following three devices have intrigued and um, t- titillated me in the weeks leading up to MWC 2026, and each promises to add something unique to the mobile party. Modular phone. Hong Kong based Techno hasn't exactly wowed with its region specific smartphones to date, but the Techno Modular magnetic phone suggests it's ramping up its ambitions. Yeah, all right. Oh shit. Oh man, 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 man. Um Let's see. Um, hmm. This could be the most advanced and downright visually appealing modular phone. Excuse me. Um, modular phone. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Modular. Hold on a second, man. Modular. Hang on, hang on. Oh boy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hold on one second. Yeah. Yeah. This could be the it seems to be taking the skinny phone concept pioneered by the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge and the iPhone Air and giving it a genuine purpose by implementing a magnetic accessory ecosystem. So there you go right there. And let me see what else. There are 10 such accessories that you can stick to the frame of Techno's sleek phone, including various camera configurations, a battery expansion, lanyards, and even a game controller. Because the base is so skinny, attaching most of these modules will leave you with a fairly normal sized phone. It'll be intriguing to see how fully fleshed out this concept is. Indeed, if there's an actual product there at all, MWC should hopefully reveal all. Motorola Razr Fold. Motorola's first book style foldable, the Motorola Razr Fold, will be one of the biggest genuinely new smart new smartphone launches at MWC 2026. It should also be one of the most exciting foldable launches. Personally, I'm more excited by this than I am the Honor Magic V6, which is also set for an MWC outing. While Honor's foldable will be the more premium offering of the two. It's Motorola that really like really hold on. It's Motorola that looks likely to address the pricing issue that has plagued foldables from the off. It reports If reports are to be believed, it could retail for around 1,500 euros, still expensive, but hundreds cheaper than the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Motorola could poke Samsung's Imperious foldable in another way too. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 famously ditched stylus support altogether, but the Motorola Razr Fold will support the company's new Pen Ultra stylus on both of its screens. Um, so yeah, Honor Magic Pad 4, as mentioned, Honor Magic V6 foldable will likely attract more headlines, but for more money, the company's next Magic Pad tablet is the more interesting MWC announcement to look out for. It promises to offer a startlingly, complete tablet package complete with a 12.3-inch 165 hertz all LED display and a flagship grade Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 um, processor. The first tablet to do so, all wrapped up in a teeny tiny 4.8 millimeter thick frame. So there you go, right there. Honorable mentions and stuff. So okay, hold on 1 second. Okay. So let me see. Yes, that's thinner than the Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra and iPad Pro M5. The essential context I'm looking for here is the price. If Honor sticks anywhere near the 600 euro pricing of the Honor Magic Pad 3, this could be the tablet bargain for the year. Excuse me. Honorable mentions: London-based Nothing will be announcing its new phone at an event in London just after MWC, presumably because it's cheaper and then more eyes are available. Otherwise, it would have occupied one of my top picks. Nothing, the Nothing Phone 4A is an even bigger deal than usual for the brand, since Nothing previously announced that it wouldn't be launching a flagship phone in 2026. It also promises a bold new take on the signature glyph notification lighting system and should make for a nice Pixel 10A rival. Okay. And elsewhere, we'll be looking forward to seeing the Xiaomi 17 series take its global bow. They always prove to be classy Galaxy S rivals, while the Xiaomi 17 Ultra in particular is sure to be leading contender for the best camera phone crown in 2026. Okay, there you go, right there. There you go. Um, there you go. Let me see. Okay. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna take a look and see. What the hell? More layoffs? Shit. Damn, more layoffs, man. That's crazy. Damn, man. All right, so we got some unfortunate news. Actually, yeah, we got some unfortunate news in the gaming industry. There's more. There's more massive layoffs. That's crazy, man. So we'll get into it right here. Hold on a second here. Damn it. Come on. Okay, what the hell? All right. Let's get into the details of what's going on in the video game entertainment newsroom. Let's go. Here's what's going on with the gaming industry as far as like some layoffs. So let's go to the video games chronicle. The games media is set for yet more layoffs after IGN owned Eurogamer and its network of sites launched a wave of editorial cuts this week. The beloved British publication, which was sold by former owner Reed Pop in 2024, along with other game network brands, is facing at least the second round of editorial layoffs since joining IGN. VGC understands. Damn. Oh boy. This is crazy.
Go!
Okay. That's understood to include the brand's most experienced editors and its entire four-person video team, though at least one person will be transferred to IGN, according to people with knowledge of the situation. Behind the camera cuts have also been made to the popular video game, the video channel outside Xbox VGC understands. The brand has more than 3.5 million subscribers across its channels and recently wrapped a UK stage tour. IGN Entertainment, which operates under Ziff Davis, acquired the Gamer Network group of brands and websites for an undisclosed sum in May 2024. Gamers Network sites includes renowned publications like Games Industry Biz, Rock Paper Shotgun, and VG247, while it owns shares in Nintendo Life owner Hook Shot and Outside Xbox. However, since joining IGN, the Gamer Network brands have faced editorial upheaval due to a mix of layoffs, redeployments, and divested divest divestitures. Divestitures. When the deal was announced, it came with several editorial cuts across publications and the closure of board game site Dicebreaker. Shortly after a voluntary redundancy program initiated by Zick Davis saw more staff leave. More significantly, virtually the entire games industry biz team left the site, while respected tech site Digital Foundry bought out Gamer Network shares and went independent. Notably, last summer, operators quietly rotated editorial staff across brands after Eurogamer's editor in chief decided to take on a new role at IGN, following the previous EIC, who joined in 2023. Virtually the entire VG 247 editorial team was moved on to Eurogamer. Damn. Significantly, the staff who left VG 247, a respected news site launched in 2008, were not replaced, and the brand currently exists only as a small guys operation run by a pair of full-time writers, sources said. The, edit- the editorial cuts have left many of the remaining and leaving Gamer Network staff wondering what the future looks like for a group of historic games publications that already look unrecognizable compared to 2 years ago. The further highlight the challenging climate, excuse me, and further highlight the challenging climate for games journalism. Like the wider games industry, publications that cover video games have been rocked by a turbulent market since the highs of the COVID-19 slamdemic. Other media owners such as Fandom, Future Publishing, and Valnet have all cut jobs in the past year. According to data supplied to VGC by Press Engine in October, the global pool of game journalists has declined by 25% in the past 2 years, with more than 1,200 journalists who regularly cover video games leaving their positions. According to Press Engine co-founder Gareth Williams, the most significant contributors to job losses in the games media are an overall shift towards covering the biggest games, resulting in increased competition for those who remain and harmful changes introduced by the Google search engine. In quote, a culmination of a number of factors has cost video games journalism some of its brightest talents, Williams told VGC. The COVID highs, followed by lack of diversific diversif diversif by hold on, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Diversification in content, diversification of advertising spend, Google's helpful content update, summaries, and AI have all contributed to where we are now. Fan led media might be the simplest route to consolidate revenue for publishers and secure the future for staff, but it's only the start. He added, in a consumer world where ad blocking is standard and games as a service and social media are communication tools where children and adults form their relationships, video games media needs to evolve and innovate. Support your favorite publications before you don't have the choice. Damn. Yeah, you gotta feel for the people, man. You really gotta feel for the people, man. That's just crazy right there. Let me see. Let me see what else to cover here. What else to cover here actually? So, um hold on. Is there anything else I want to Is there anything else? Is there anything else though? Um okay. Okay, so Sony has announced the PlayStation Plus Essential monthly games for March. This time there will be 4 games to claim, all of which will be available from March 3rd until April 6th for members of all 3 PlayStation Plus tiers, Essential, Extra, and Premium. As previously leaked, as previously leaked, March's PlayStation Plus essential games include PGA Tour 2K25, the sixth installment in the PGA Tour 2K series. Joining it, joining it is Monster Hunter Rise, Capcom's action RPG, which originally released on Switch in 2021 before being ported to PlayStation 4, actually PS4 and PS5 in 2023. The third game is Slime Rancher 2, where players take control of Beatrix LeBeau as she travels to Rainbow Island and builds a farm and ranch there. Finally, the fourth PS Plus essential game is The Elder Scrolls Online Collection Gold Road, which grants access to all major chapter zones, biomes, and quest arcs across Tamriel, Tamriel, um, but doesn't include the 2025 content pass. All 4 games will be available to claim from March 3rd until April 6th, at which point they will be replaced by another selection of titles. So yeah, for all you gamers out there, um, mark your calendars. As ever, as ever, players who claim the games will be able to continue playing them after they are no longer available to claim, as long as they remain subscribed to any PlayStation Plus tier. Players can continue to claim February's PlayStation Plus essential games until the end of March 2nd. These include Undisputed, Subnautica, Below Zero, Ultros, and Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. Sony previously announced that starting in January 2026, PS4 will no longer be a key benefit of the service, with the platform holder instead turning its focus to offering PS5 titles. However, despite this previous claim, the addition of the PS4 versions of Monster Hunter Rise And the Elder Scrolls Online suggests that PS4 owners will still get at least some of the monthly PlayStation Plus Essential offering for now. Wow. Wow. Yes. Okay, so I will save this Marvel Maximum topic for another episode. All right. I think I'm gonna wrap up here, man. I'm gonna wrap up here. All right. We're gonna wrap up this show right here, man, with this last segment of the night. Stream choices on the go. Let's do this. Okay, make sure you follow. Hold on. Make sure you follow. Oh shit. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, make sure you follow Off the Meat Rat Chainz New York Avenue podcast on Facebook alongside with Bluesky Social, Threads, and Instagram. The same goes for my other podcast shows that I do, which is my sports platform show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks podcast, alongside with the entertainment review show, Meticulous Vibe Juice podcast. And you can also follow your host with the most at G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York, on Threads and on Instagram as well. All right, I didn't forget. I didn't forget. So if you go to the link in bio, you're gonna see Linktree/G Money Stacks 555, and I'll gladly go over where you can listen to the episodes on audio platforms and visuals, which includes Odyssey, Audible, Audioburst, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts alongside with a positive review. It really helps me as the host, and for me to get all the confidence that I need to create more content and more topics for you folks at home to listen to from a long day of work. And you can even listen to the podcast episodes while you are in your cars, all that great stuff right there. And you can also download the episodes as well. All right, so Castbox FM, these are listen notes, Moon FM podcast, Overall FM podcast, Pandora, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podo Polo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Podcast Guru, Podcatcher, Podcast Republic. You can listen to the episodes on Snipped. You can also listen on Spotify. Make sure you add the podcast to your Spotify playlist, and make sure you click on the notification bell so you'll be notified on which episodes are going to be dropped on every streaming platform. And you can also listen on Spotify for creators, TuneIn, Fountain, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, the number one app where you can listen to your favorite music artists, such as rappers, R&B singers, other music genres, including pop stars, hip hop artists, and also your favorite radio stations on the AM and FM. And you can also listen to the podcast episodes for free. You don't need a credit card or debit card to download iHeartRadio. All you need to do is grab your phones, download iHeartRadio onto your iPhones, your Android phones, alongside with your iPads, Android tablets, and of course, laptops are included, which includes Apple alongside with Dell laptop models. All right. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel page, G Money Stacks 555, for more episodes that's uploaded to the YouTube channel page. And if you miss any episodes whatsoever, please feel free to actually share this with everybody. Share this podcast with your husbands, your wives, your boyfriends, girlfriends, people you're cool with from work. And of course, tell me your favorite topics that you like, whether it's in this episode or previous episodes whatsoever. And like I said, you can download the episodes. You can also leave a like and a comment alongside with the topics. And you can also enable alerts by pressing the notification bell, so you'll be able to be notified on which video podcast episode will be uploaded to the YouTube channel page. And of course, be sure to also share the videos. You can share the podcast. Word of mouth is important. And of course, the very, very, very last thing that I want to say on here is to, make sure you subscribe to my other YouTube channel pages. My sports YouTube channel page is Excellent Fun Vibrant Talks Podcast. Make sure you subscribe over there, as well as the entertainment review show Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast as well. And of course, I will be dropping episodes for Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast tomorrow, as well as Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York Avenue Podcast as well. So, of course, yes. So if you're looking for something to cheer you up from a long day of work or whatever, you can listen to the podcast episodes while you are in your cars going or coming home from your destinations, like whether it's work, whether it's college, wherever you're coming from. Of course, be safe out there. I know there's been a lot of craziness going on with the snowy conditions and the ice and all that other stuff. Staten Island got forgotten. I understand that, which is crazy. So yeah. And yeah, man, this is crazy, man. Listen, folks, this is about to be the time for me to wrap up right here, man. That's gonna do it for me, man. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator. Rhymes with now or later. And I'd like to say thank you to every single one of you who took the time to listen to the podcast episodes. You could have listened to any other podcast in the whole world, but you chose to listen to this podcast as well. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off. If you want something, you have to work hard and earn it. It's not going to be given to you on a fucking silver platter. And of course, find your niche, If you plan on starting a podcast, be sure to be yourself behind the microphone while you are recording your podcast episodes and topics. And be on your P's and Q's creatively, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, that get you into your zone alongside with tunnel vision. All right. And yeah, so that's about it. That's about it though, man. And remember to catch up on the episodes in case you miss any of the episodes whatsoever. Um also also before I forget though, man, let me make sure I give a birthday shout out to Uncle Ralph McDaniels. For those of you who may not know who he is, he's the VJ. He is the VJ director who directed two music videos by Nas. And of course, he's also a DJ as well. He also has video music box that's been on the air for years, since 1983. All right. And of course, man, you can tune into Video Music Box on Saturdays at midnight on channel 25. All right, check your local listings. All right, man. That's gonna do it, man. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Stay safe, be careful out there. And yeah, peace and one love. As Ken Stars would like to say, as always, have a good night, everybody.